Alright, so this is just a little video to document pretty much the very first steps of progress on this project. Basically, I'm going to go ahead and generate a map. The map size can be anywhere between like 12 by 12 tiles and 15,000 by 15,000 tiles. And how big the map doesn't really seem to affect the FPS at all. It does take a really long time to generate, at least on my relatively low performance laptop. It takes a while to generate a map with 225 million tiles. This said, this is a 1000 by 1000 map. Just some basic features here. There's obviously going to be a lot more terrain. Going to have terrain blending, hopefully. But you can see the basics. There's little gibs, or at least that's what I call them, decorations. They generate randomly, but they're consistent. And there's different ones for different types of tiles. So you got cactus on the dirt, grass for the grass, well, bushes on the grass. Different types of trees. I mean, the transitions are pretty blatant. I'll have to fix that later, but you got palm trees for dirt and sand, and grass trees, pine trees and deciduous trees for grass. You got rocks, and they also have gibs. The yellow ones indicate gold ores underneath, whereas regular gray-colored ones indicate stone. There's going to be other types of ore, but that was just kind of a test to see how it would look. Probably going to be some variation in the gibs there as well. Terrain types at the moment are sand, water, grass, dirt, and rock. There's going to be more, but this can show how you can have multiple Perlin maps or multiple Perlin generators overlaying on each other. So, for example, the sand and the water is with one generator, and the grass and the dirt is with another, and they're just kind of overlaid. So that's why you can see things like this happening, even though that wouldn't make sense if you had one Perlin generator. But yeah, so you got trees, you got gibs, you got terrain. In addition, there is also, well, you can zoom, obviously. There's a few other keyboard commands. But more importantly, you can create buildings. For example, building. The depth testing is working well for the most part. So, it actually renders the closest buildings last. It's not hard with a 2D isometric perspective, but it does work. A couple different buildings. But more importantly, there is animated buildings. And the animation is handled and doesn't really kill the FPS much at all. So, yeah, it's animated. That's nice. It's pretty easy to add animated buildings in if you just have the PNG files. Probably work on a different format for loading those later, but for now, I got it and it works. What else? Guess it's time to show off the character. Oh, just another note. The FPS right now is locked at about 60. You can turn that off. I forget which key it is. I don't want to press a key to, do something else I forgot. I bounded something. But the FPS, even on a relatively old laptop, can get up into, the 350s on the highest zoom level, and it never drops below 30, even on the most zoomed out level. And lots of buildings, even animated ones, don't really tend to mess with the frame rate much. It's mostly just how much terrain are you looking at, including trees. Anyway, I got this guy here. Fuck. Oh, right, you can click to, change the terrain if you want. That's just a little feature. Alright, so you can, yeah, it turns into a palm tree. That's because I only imported 2 directions of animated walking. You can see the guy changes shape when, he goes into his idle frame. That's really simple to fix. I just gotta go in and edit those pictures. By the way, all these textures are just public domain stuff. I think there's a guy called, Blood on Open Game Art, I think it is, who is making all these textures, and he just releases them into the public domain. So I figure I would just kind of point that out, that these are not mine. But anyway, so yeah, this guy can walk. I have to implement some more advanced pathfinding. We'll probably use, what is it called, Best Next Pathfinding or something. Got the actual name. Best First, something like that. But yeah, so this guy can walk. It's nice. He turns into a pine tree. The pine tree, or a palm tree, sorry, is the, default texture for when there isn't a texture. I might have to fix that. But yeah, all these little graphical bugs are pretty simple, just because I really haven't finished that yet. But no, that's not a huge deal. Anyway, so yeah, you can have characters that move, there are buildings, they're animated, it can tell if the space is occupied, red is occupied, green is not. Oh, and here's the minimap. The minimap refreshes dynamically, and this little green thing is not just for show, it really does update in sequence. If I go generate another map, you will see very soon that it actually generates as that green line moves. So yeah, you can see it actually kind of going like that. Alright, so that's about it for this video. I can't really think of too much else to show. There's a few other smaller features like turning the grid on and off and like turning on tracing and whatever else, but I just wanted to show basically what the game looks like at the moment. I'm kind of proud of this. I've only been working on it for like 3 or 4 days, but I still like it. Alright, so if you're watching this, thanks for watching.